Okay, well, so we usually do the live streams after the podcast. We're not doing one this week because we're all dead, but we kind of one of them devolved into uh making a tier list of candy bars. Um, Still not really sure how or why that happened, but it did, and then we ended up doing one with snack cakes.
Well, I think it started with me just asking about cosmic brownies
Yeah.
and what you guys thought about it.
Yeah.
So we thought we would use this format and make it applicable to rocketry, considering this is a rocketry channel after all. So Taylor has kindly put together this tier list of some high-powered motors, and full disclosure, it is all Aerotech stuff this time around, but we can always make this a recurring segment.
Yeah, I figured this is not the definitive, greatest motors of all time, but it sort of, I figured we could maybe do this a few times, and if I keep track of what motors we use, maybe it could kind of work as a bracket almost, where once we get to a point, we could look at all of our, S tier stuff and sort of rank those maybe.
Yeah, and for those who aren't familiar with how these tier lists work, it's D through S, which I know is, I don't know what S really stands for, superior, supreme, I don't know. But S is the highest, and then D, it goes S, A, B, C, D. Very intuitive except for the S being the top one, but
S for super.
yeah. So we're gonna, this one, it benefits you to be in the video for this particular segment, but we're going to talk you through everything, and then hopefully not watching the podcast or not watching the podcast will you'll still get the good feel of what's going on. I like that the first on our list is the J350, though I think
classic.
Yeah, and that's why I'm going to need you guys to weigh in on this one, because I feel like the J350 should go like B, because it is like the middle of the road. It's the classic, it's the staple, it's a 38 millimeter J. Everybody uses it for their level 2.
I would agree, except that
that
every time I see a J350, especially at minimum J distance, it hits relentlessly hard.
But would a J570 not hit harder?
I mean, they're both good.
That's what I'm saying, though. Is like, it's not the best of the best, but it is just, it's great.
I might say A.
I say A. I mean, I don't think a J570 is like that much different than a J350. I mean, it is, but they're kind of in their same category, I guess.
I guess A is a fair, like, yeah, you did it. Because I guess that S is like a step above, you know? So
S is like elite.
How do you feel about the J350 being A, Matt?
Man, I'm not gonna lie, I can't exactly recall a J. Taylor, have I launched a J350?
No, but it's on your motors you like list, I think.
That doesn't surprise me.
So this is a 38720 White Lightning reload, and is a classic that's been used for many a level 2
decades,
hundreds of years.
Yes.
And it's quite spicy for a what would be considered a baby J.
I like spice. I think I go with A. That's fine.
Okay. The H73 Blackjack.
Not the most popular.
Blackjack. Yeah.
Nope. Classic Blackjack.
Is it a 2-grain 38?
It is. I've never flown one, but I've seen a lot of them.
Yeah, I don't have a desire to, if I'm honest.
No.
Almost everyone I've seen has weathercocked even in the lightest of wind. So I would put that at C, I guess.
Yeah, that's, you hate to give it the lowest ranking right off the rip, but
yeah,
there's nothing that bad about it that would make me want to put it to D. Like, I don't hate it, but I'm not seeking it out either.
Yeah.
I'm fine with C.
Yeah. Matt,
C's where it's at.
the A73 is C tier. Matt, you actually have some valuable experience on this one. I think we're going to have an interesting take here. The
I thought this would be
J615.
Oh,
This is the 2-grain Super Thunder with the Aerospike nozzle. So I thought this would be a good choice because of,
yeah.
you know, you kind of have that variable of the Aerospike.
Which makes
Cool
it
motor,
cool
but-
and a pain.
Yeah.
I would be tempted, if it weren't for the nuisance of putting the igniter in, I would want it in S. Because otherwise, it just goes so hard.
It's
Yeah.
good.
I would
Yeah,
say
it is
B
a great motor.
with the Aerospike.
B.
I'd say B.
I was thinking B.
Yeah, it is. I mean, as much
It's
as
a chore.
It's middle.
Yeah,
I
it's-
just
like
it's such a good motor,
It's
but
awkward.
I don't want to pay for one at all.
right. Yeah,
Mhm.
and I mean, I've flown one, and I'm like, that's kind of. It's been like 2 years, so I'm like starting to get towards. Oh, I'd fly another one, but I remember flying, and I was like, wow, that went really high for a 2-grain in this rocket, and it was super cool, especially because we flew it from the close minimum J distance pads. But after that, I was like, I don't know if I need to do that again. And then I did because I helped Matt with his. And I don't really know. It's not at the top of my gotta have it list. The L900 dark matter, 4-grain, 75mm dark matter.
I'm gonna say
Dark-
B.
Yeah,
wow. I'd say C.
I would probably say C, honestly, too. They're just not hitting
So-
the way you want a Sparky to.
I feel like when they
Yeah.
came out, they were a little bit better, and I actually have probably flown 2 of them, and it seemed like as time goes on, they get less impressive for whatever reason. So
Like,
I mean-
you guys saying that there's just not enough the effect of the Sparky, or is just not enough thrust?
Yeah, it's I mean, you're buying it because you want
yeah.
the,
You want
the
the spark. Yeah, you want the
chest
effect.
pounding.
Yeah,
just
Yeah,
like
the
the sky
throaty,
ripping.
the growl.
yeah, the sparks are a little bit more kind of inconsistent lately, and the noise just isn't there.
I would still
like
say
a-
C. It's kind
That's
of
what I was-
relentless to put it with
right?
the H73 though. I don't know if I feel that.
Yeah,
bad.
I don't. It's still a good motor.
Mm.
I mean, from a like it's.
Yeah, okay, B. B's good.
I could see myself flying one. I mean,
I would consider
like
it
the
long before an H73.
yeah,
Put it that
that's
way.
sort of the point I was
Mhm.
getting at.
N3300 Redline.
S. Without a doubt, this is S. It has the combination of all the good things, and it is perfect.
I'm gonna say A
I'm saying
Because-
A as well.
because I think. I mean, I loved it in our cluster, and I would cluster it again. And it has its uses as that good heavy lifter and stuff. But I would choose it in 2000 over.
That's
it
what I
for-
was gonna say. Is
Yeah.
look at the lineup of the case. It's not what I'm picking first.
D class.
Okay,
Just kidding.
Matt's been overruled.
throw an outlier out there.
M1500, a motor that people love and
I
is
know.
great, and I have no interest or desire to purchase one.
I have flown one. I've seen lots of them. We saw one over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It just is not. I'm never impressed. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say B again.
Yeah.
because it's a fine rocket motor, has pretty good impulse and stuff, but
Yep.
Matt?
really not.
I don't know.
All right. B it is. Okay. K560. That is the 2-grain 75 White Lightning and relentlessly full K motor. Not quite as aggressive as its Blue Thunder counterpart, but I think I would go A, bearing in
Yeah,
mind
for-
that I would probably put a K1000 at S.
Yes. I would agree, and especially factoring in the budget factor, the 2-grain 75s are such a good deal.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're getting it's pretty much the same price as a 4-grain 54, and you're getting almost an entire extra K motor worth of impulse.
Well, I mean, it's a full K, so
Yeah. You're going from the K550 is not a baby K, but it's
you're
a
getting
massive
almost
jump.
you're getting almost 1,000 more Newton seconds. So
For basically what it's like $15 more.
yeah, something like that.
The one drawback being that going from 54 to 75 hardware comes with quite a price increase.
And for the K560 in particular, being a short motor, the thrust just isn't there. So it's not a heavy lifter, but you can still
We
fly
all
a
down
pretty
with
heavy rocket
A?
on it. I'm down.
I'm
Shane?
fine with A. Yeah.
Matt?
Sure.
All right. Now, to just have said a lot about how the K560 is way more impulse and a better deal than a K550, it's going to sound really weird for me to want to put a K550 in S.
I think K550 is very middle of the road.
Yeah,
So-
I guess I could see how the K550 is the K Motor J350.
Yeah.
I'd say A.
It's so good, but yeah, I
It's-
see that.
It's the people's K motor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt?
Yeah, A. Taylor, you're gonna have to let me know if I've flown any of these. I think some will come to mind. The J615,
Yeah,
I know
I'm gonna let
that.
you know. So far, you
the
haven't not flown.
K185, I think, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's
That
up,
was
the
that's
one
up
that chuffed.
down the road.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
Yeah, I probably should have put a few more smaller motors, but
it's fine.
So I can participate.
Anyway.
It makes sense that Taylor didn't want to because he hates these little baby rockets, as we all know.
hey, I got some small ones in here.
Yeah.
I got a couple.
The L2200, I'm putting above the M1500. It's Mojave Green case sharing brother because it is all of the L that you could possibly have.
Yeah, it's a great thrust curve and it full L. I mean,
My drawback is going to probably stir the pot of the rocketry community on this podcast. But the biggest problem I have with it is that it is a Mojave Green motor. It just doesn't, the green just really doesn't do it for me. Knowing what makes it green
But-
really turns me off on the concept.
but you can fly it from L distance. It hits relentlessly hard.
Yeah. I would put it
so,
in A
A.
still. Yeah.
I would say as far as the motor goes, it's for me B, but I would still take it over the M1500.
So
Yeah.
unless we want to move the M1500 down to C, but I like the thrust curve on the L2200, so
Yeah.
that's why I want A.
That's why I bought one. I have one because I was like, it's such a
Yeah.
good motor. I just don't really care about the fact that it's green.
I would buy another L2200 because I like the thrust curve. I will never buy an M1500. That's the least favorite 5120 load that I've flown.
I think I have an L2200. I just don't have a rocket for it.
Wow.
Well, you have an
I think you have a-
L2200?
Yeah.
Time
I
to
think
get
you
another
might have a
demon.
K560 too.
What is it?
The K560?
Yeah, maybe.
You should get a 5-inch
Two-grain?
demon, Matt.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah.
Kick it up a
Okay.
notch.
He's over the demon. There's too much trauma
I
there.
don't know. I just need to build my Punisher first.
Get a 5-inch Punisher. Join the club.
He doesn't like the Punisher like us.
Like us.
Get a Dark Star. You like a split fin?
yeah.
He's had a 2-inch Dark Star for like 6 years.
Can you
Yeah.
stop, Taylor? I'm trying to throw him softballs here.
Well,
I'm just trying to
doing it
kicking
to
around
myself.
some ideas. Oh my god. It's like, no, don't do that, Matt. God. Micromanaging Macho Matt's decisions that I'm trying to make for him. Anyway, this is another S contender for me, the G64.
I think this might be the first S.
Wow.
What the reasoning is, as far as G motors go, it's way too good.
It is.
I
It's
mean,
great.
It's easy to forget, but if you are flying, say you're flying with your low power group or whatever, show up with the G64, and it just goes hard. I mean,
I
it's
flew
so
one
loud.
At the Johnson Space Center, like on the Johnson Space Center property, a quarter mile away from an actual Saturn V. And you know what? The rail button hung up on the rail, and I got yelled at as a 13-year-old or 14-year-old or however old I was by the guy who was running the NAR club that launches there, for my rocket briefly coasting over the crowd and the parachute coming out and it landing safely within the rope that they had put up for the field, and nowhere near anybody or anything. But even being lambasted, I was like, man, that was so good. And it's especially potent, like Taylor said, in that case, because it was a demo launch for a hot air balloon festival. And I was like, I want to fly a B motor. I got this G64. Let's do that. And it was awesome, just that close. It's really a showstopper and like the ultimate park flying motor too. I can see
say
on
yes.
Postar's face that he's not into the S idea.
I'm not S.
Have you flown a G64?
I haven't. I've seen them.
It's just the problem is the context.
I'm A.
You weren't there. You weren't there for the Mustang flights over and over. You're seeing G64s the same launch as you're seeing N motors. You're jaded.
You have to take the context into account.
If not G64, what G motor are you going with?
G80.
Yeah, okay. I guess that's kind of a layup.
It's a classic. It's so good.
But it's not the classic G80.
But it's the G motor.
No,
I'm thinking
the
now
G64 is the G motor.
maybe for the next rendition of this tier list, we should pick an Impulse. And then, because this is a little bit apples to oranges, we're like, all right, guys,
I feel like
G64 and then N2000.
So stick with
What's wrong
I
with
feel
that?
like also
Yeah.
Those are both elite motors.
Rather than weighing all of our opinions, we could also each do this before the podcast and then bring our own, where we put each motor.
All right, listen. Well, this isn't a workshop episode. Are we putting the G64 at S or not?
I vote yes.
I say A.
Matt, you're the deciding call.
Have I flown one before, Taylor?
No.
I don't know. Put it in S. There's nothing in S right now. Sorry, Postart.
All right,
I'm
here's a
not
layup
loves
for
that
you.
the
G64.
N3300 isn't there with it.
Here's a layup for you, Postart. I600 Redline.
Ooh,
S.
I think we all can agree that is
I like
S.
that, yeah.
That one's not just because it's red. It's just a good motor.
That is a
I
full
agree.
eye.
And I'm a red line hater. So
Yeah.
You are.
What do you say about the J99?
Oh wait, Taylor, you flew one of those.
no, I flew a J90.
Oh, was that in the Honest John?
Fusion.
Oh, okay.
I have zero interest in the J99.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I could just fly a J90 that looks cooler. This is the Warp 9 inburner.
Yeah.
It felt appropriate to put it on the list, so we could have something in the D category.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
I think it belongs in D. I
This
think
is-
you think it kind of has a use. I mean, if me and Braden were to build, or the two-stage Dragon we're talking about, that would be a good motor that would keep it within the Argonia waiver if we were to want to fly it there. But there's other motors that can do that as well. So I don't really know I don't know. I don't have a want for that motor, I guess.
How is it going to keep it in the Sigornia Weaver?
Because
Thank
it's a baby
you. The K375, everybody. Shout out to the 4 people that listened to that joke and thought it was funny, especially delivering
What?
it 30 seconds too late. You said Argonia Waiver. I said Sigornia Weaver.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. Anyway, K375, folks. Boost sustain.
S.
I'm with you on S.
S.
Matt? All right. That's an easy one. And another one to back it up. N2000. S.
S. They're just so good. It's
Yeah.
easy to
Yeah.
overlook it because it's just White Lightning and it's been around forever. But
That is how
Man,
I
when
used to perceive it. And then, yeah, when you see them, you're like, whoa, that goes way
you're
hard.
like, what it's always what motor was that? Oh, it was an N2000. Oh, that is a really good motor. Okay, it's a classic.
L1256, Super White Lightning. I would love to put this really high up, but it has this interesting trick where it makes your rocket land on people's trucks. So
I'm gonna say A.
I would say A. It's a great motor.
Yeah.
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 Matt?
Yeah, it's a great motor. Yeah, it's a great motor.
K 1999.
D.
I'm gonna say B.
I would put it up like when our friend Kelsey has flown them. He went the pumpkin chunkin thing.
I mean,
It's
if
cool
I-
that it burns so long because it's a 98 warp 9.
yeah,
And it's
And
just
it's-
aggressive.
and it's a 100% K, so that's kind of cool. It has a decent amount of thrust. It's arguably a useful motor, but in a not very useful size. So like,
yeah, and like a
if
really
I got a free
expensive
case for it,
right?
yeah, if I got
Yeah.
a free case for it, I could see myself flying one.
That's
Or,
my big issue with it.
Yeah, Matt,
So
you're
that's
not
why I
buying
put
a
it
one
at
grade
B.
98, right?
No, I got the spacers for it, so I'm just kidding.
He's really quiet about it, but Matt is very vocal about his hatred of the K1999 all the time.
Yeah,
That actually, Kelsey, that is the way that he flies it. He does it in a 2-grain CTI case with one spacer, which is like the best way to do it because then you don't have to own a 1-grain 98 case that, what do those things cost now? Like $300
Yeah.
for this one motor. H550 Super Thunder.
S.
I'd say A.
I'd say A as well.
Okay.
Matt?
Oh,
I don't
Matt's
know.
flown one of these.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one sounds familiar.
The Quick Link incident.
A.
It's
Makes
good.
the quick
Yeah,
links-
I don't want it to be I don't hold it to that standard, you know.
Yeah.
It's also weird that it's H550 both reloadable and DMS. And I'm
Mhm.
knocking some points off for the fact that I've got the DMS one when I bought the reloadable one before. K185. Long burn 4-grain. Matt, you have flown this one. It's your chance to weigh in. It took a lot to light it, but you can rule that
did.
out a little bit.
I don't know. I it was too cold for me. I think
A little soft.
it was
For
soft. I'm gonna say C.
Whoa.
Okay, yeah, maybe
Whoa.
that's a little too low. Maybe B. I don't know. This is
I would
B.
say A, but I could see if that wasn't your thing.
I'm
It could-
kinda-
maybe it was just so soft because it was taking a long time to come up to pressure.
Well, you burned a lot of the impulse on the pad, so that definitely made it a little bit. I mean, it
Yeah.
was cool, but it would have been a little spicier if it hadn't
Yeah.
burned so much on the pad.
I'm kind of B about it as well, just because like long burn motors
yeah.
that aren't the longest they could be is just kind of a cop out to me. I mean, and it killed my Big Daddy, so I'm a little bit upset at it. Don't motor eject K185s.
Actually, yeah, I agree with B because like I haven't flown one, and
What?
Like-
Really?
yeah,
Ever?
just kind of no,
That's crazy.
yeah, it's the only long burn 54 Aerotech I haven't flown. Well, and not counting the K250, but the
Okay, the M650 is also going to get some points knocked off because the M685 exists. It was super cool in my Honest John, but it was really made cool by the fact that there was 4 J motors in there with it. Like there's not a scenario where I imagine wanting to fly an M650 over a 685.
I could see myself putting one in the 4-inch Punisher.
Yeah, I was going to say A anyway, just because it is really impactful and cool.
You can't. The
Yeah.
thing is, you can't really tell the difference between that and an M685. So if it's a non-minimum diameter rocket, I feel like the M650 is probably a better choice.
Yeah, and that's kind of, yeah. I mean, I guess, and right now, because of the way my mind is thinking, is every long burn motor should be in a minimum diameter rocket. And if you're going to do it, you can go all the way. So, but yeah, I mean, it's dumb for me to be like, this motor sucks, because I flew one and I loved it and it was awesome. But, yeah, I would
A.
still say A. Matt?
Hey,
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I am the one of the 4 that have flown this motor in this group, the N2220 Dark Matter. And I am taking an authoritative stance in saying that it belongs in D at the very bottom of the list.
whoa.
Here's the thing. I think we need some explanation on it because I want to say that I want to like it. I really do.
So
I love Sparkies. They're cool. But
It's
I have not seen a good one in the last 5 years.
it's
the last good one I saw was at LDRS 38, and
the
it
demo
was
one.
crazy good.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it was a demo.
Well, they put it on the Aerotech Facebook page, and that's why I bought one, because
Yeah.
that one was crazy, and we were there for it. But mine,
That was
was
the same launch I flew the L1040, wasn't
yeah,
it?
that also went relentlessly hard.
They had a good batch.
It was
of
apparently
dark
the
matter.
end of the era of dark matter being loud and gnarly, because I immediately, and I mean immediately, after buying or getting my level 3, went and bought a 15360 case, because I built the Iris almost 10 years prior to flying on an N motor, and I was like, yeah, if I'm just gonna do it, let's go. Tim had a hardware sale. I bought the motor a few months later. I even got a crazy deal because this was before all the price hikes, and I bought it on Black Saturday. I think I paid $585. And if somebody gave me the opportunity to buy another N2220 for $585, I probably would not buy it. It was
Yeah.
like, look at it. It's barely an N. You're getting 6 grains of propellant to have M1939 impulse, basically. It's like 140 more Newton seconds or something like that. And it's really expensive, and it has a decent hit. Yeah, my 84-pound rocket still took off pretty quick with it, but when you're forgoing all the extra impulse of literally any of the other 6 grain motors for that case for it to be a cool Sparky motor, and it goes you get pretty mad about it. it was such a cool flight. Otherwise, and all the pictures make it look really cool. And I was really excited about it at the time. There's even a picture of it on my wall right there. But like after years of stewing on it, I'm just like, damn, it would have been way cooler if it sounded cool. And then to add salt to the open wound, I flew a K456 the next day, and it was unbelievably loud and gnarly. Like, cool. Could have just bought like 25 of those for the price I just paid for the N motor.
Yeah.
This is a
And
D motor.
I was there for that flight, and it was the quietest Sparky motor I had ever heard.
Yeah.
It was impressively disappointing.
And I've seen a couple apps since then in Argonia, I think, and they just were not that great.
There
Kind of
was
the same
another
thing.
N2220 at that LDRS where I flew the Iris at Bonneville Salt Flats, and it was better than mine, but it still wasn't like that first one we saw.
Yeah.
Unless anybody wants to shovel it out of D, I'm putting it in D
I would say C because
because it's an
I
N
hate
motor.
putting it lower than the H73. It's still an N motor.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Just for the cost effectiveness of like
Put it
paying
with-
for the disappointment, I would buy an H73 first. I mean, a
Put it
good
with
deal
C
on an
because those two
N2220 now
motors
is
sound the same.
yeah, it'll sound exactly the same. You fly H97,
Yeah.
it'll sound like an N2220 in my particular
Yeah.
experience. Yeah, I mean, it's just a good deal on one now. If you buy one on sale, it's like $950. No shot. No shot you're going with that over an N2000 if you're a reasonable person.
I think I vote for C.
Matt?
Yeah, I'd say C.
D. I'm just kidding.
All right.
C.
I'll put it in C. There you go, folks. That's our motor tier list. And I think we did a pretty good job, but we do want to do more tier lists. So if you have any suggestions to refinements to the tier list system, please let us know.